Hi everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com and welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I am using Your Super by MFT Stamps. I am doing their weekly card sketch challenge. It did kind of evolve and I cut a bunch of it off, but we really did start that way. I'll show you the sketch here a little later on in the video. But yeah, I ended up cutting it up. But that's over at cardchallenges.com. I will have the link to that and all the products and everything down in the description box below. I'm showing you that I have a mask cut out of the girl and two little strips, and then this is a piece of Nina Solar White cardstock. Here is the sketch for you guys. I'm not sure why I inserted it here, but I did, so there you go. So I'm going to start off by masking out the bottom and down the side of the image here. I fiddle with this for a little while. It took me a little bit to get that off. I actually ended up going off and I just fought with it. It did not want to cooperate with me this morning, but I digress. We're going to carry on. I bought this stamp set when it was re-released. So it was recently re-released by MFT. It's an older one and then people begged for it and they brought it back. You can see how long I fought with that before I could get it off. Anyway, so I bought it when it first came back out, like when it got re-released, and I haven't used it yet. So I decided that I should probably get around to that. I'm trying to get better at using my stuff. I've been on not spending money on stamps, so like I haven't bought anything stamp-wise in over a month since I've placed my last order, so that's actually really awesome for the wallet. And I'm getting back into the swing of things and trying to force myself to use my old stuff, and I can't, well, it's not even old stuff. It's use the stuff that I've purchased that I haven't gotten around to yet. And that's why I'm back with Stamp Stash Saturday, even though it's super late and probably Sunday where some of you are by the time this gets uploaded. But you know, the thought was there. I filmed it early this morning, if that counts. I just didn't have time to edit it until now. So I stamped her out using Memento Extreme Black ink, and then I am going to futz and futz and futz trying to get this mask on straight, and I, again, had nothing but issues with this. It all goes clear sailing after we get past this part, though. So that's well, and we have to cut the card out, but that's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Finally get that on. And now I'm using, this is the Cloud Stencil and the Mini Cloud Edge Stencil. So I'm using both of those, and I'm pulling out some Distress inks here. There was Blueprint Sketch, Salty Ocean, Picked Raspberry, and Wilted Violet. Sorry, I had to think. I don't have them beside me anymore. They've all been put away since I did this. I cleaned today. That's part of why I didn't get this up any earlier. So I added a little bit of the blue down at the bottom just to make sure that that was in there as I'm going through and adding all of our fun little clouds in. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm going to try and bring back Stamp Stash Saturday regularly. I really enjoyed doing this series and people seem to really like it. So I'm going to, fingers crossed, keep up with it quite regularly again and have those coming for you. It was really nice to have it to be doing this series and having it getting me to use the stamps out of my stash and stamps I've collected over the years, using stamps more than once or twice and all that kind of fun stuff. So that was really exciting. So I'm pretty excited to start doing that again. I've actually already filmed next week's Stamp Stash Saturday, so I'm even getting ahead, which is a bonus. That's kind of what I was doing before I fell back into the ordering more than I could use and not making videos or making cards, or I was just, well, it was spring and Anyway, enough excuses. We're getting through all of this stenciling, and you can see how I just I rotate the stencil around and I flip them over and I use both on the same card. I love these. I wish they'd make one that was a little bit smaller yet. Like an itsy bitsy one. But I'll take the two that I have and I really like them. I use them a whole lot. So they're probably my most used stencils in my stash, and I have a stencil addiction. I love stencils, you guys. They're the best. So once we get this done here, I am going to take this as the building from that same stamp set. I'm making sure it's I'm making sure it's straight. And I'm going to stamp this again in the same black ink that I stamped her in. It won't quite go down because of the masking. It's away a little bit, but when we're done, I do color over top of everything and fill all of that in. So we are going to double stamp that on both sides. We'll do it on this side, and then we will go again and stamp it on the other side after I line it back up. There we go. And I will double stamp it on this side as well. just so that they're the same depth, even though I go back after and color over everything with N9 marker, I do believe is what I use, but we'll get there. Quit getting ahead of yourself, Jessie. Quit getting ahead of yourself and start paying attention to what you're doing here. So I'm pulling off our mask. Lots of people save their masks. I never seem to be able to. Once I ink over top of them, they're garbage when I'm done. So we're going to start with our coloring, and as per usual, I always do my skin tones first. It's the way I've always done it. I work dark to light, and I do one coat of color. Again, this is Nina 80-pound Solar White cardstock. I really like this cardstock. I'm starting to get the hang of it and feeling a little more comfortable with it. I do know my blue blending on this wasn't pristine, but I'm happy with the way the card came out. So we're going to go through my typical Caucasian skin tone, E04, E13, 11, 21, 00, and 000. I pile a ton of markers into these guys. I really like using what I have in my arsenal to create as much depth as I can in these images using my markers or pencils or watercolors or whatever it is I have decided to use on that project. So getting through our skin here, then I go into the hair. I tend to do all of my neutrals first, like what I call my boring colors. My browns, my grays, that kind of stuff. I call those my boring colors because they're not like fun and vibrant and in your face. So I like to do all of those first. I did do the yellow before I did the gray on this one, but normally, yeah, I do all of my, like I said, boring colors first. When I do color hair, see, I haven't filmed in a while, my hand's in the way. I'm sorry. I will get better at that again. It just takes me a few videos to figure out how I need to hold my hand as I'm doing things so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. I do my hair opposite of what I color everything else. Like I had just said, I color 90% of my stuff from dark to light, but when I do hair, I go dark or light to dark so that I don't lose those flicks and strokes as I'm putting them into the hair. So we're going to work our way through that. What's new and exciting in my world? Me and my son were over at my parents' house. We go over to my mom and dad's all the time. We live like 4 blocks away from each other. So we walk over there. If it's nice out, like there's days where we'll walk over there 4 or 5 times a day. But anyway, we were over there for supper. We were roasting hot dogs and things in the backyard. Caleb was all excited. And we brought our ball gloves and we were playing catch in the backyard. My dad it's his wood shop, but it is an old grain bin. So it's like low and it was wood and they took it down and brought it and put it back together and it's his wood shop now. But he cut and put windows in it and they were cheap windows even at the time. But Caleb and I were playing catch and he was trying to show off because my grandmother and my aunt were there. And yeah, he was trying to showboat and he threw the ball too hard and he broke the window. It was so funny, you guys. He took off. He was crying. He felt so bad and we're all laughing because we thought it was funny. I mean, that window survived me and my sister. It should have never lived through the footballs and the frisbees and the baseballs and the Lord only knows what else we threw at that shop. But Caleb successfully broke the window. There is a picture of that over on my Instagram. If you missed it, my Instagram link is in the description box below. It's a little blurry. My dad took the photo, but I had to steal it and put it on my Instagram. So yeah, so he broke a window yesterday, and then today we were at the Ball Diamond at 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, something like that, because he wanted to practice batting, and then he got sick of batting, so he wanted to practice pitching. So he didn't realize that I grew up playing ball. So if that bat would have been heavier, I could have hit that ball further. But he was running and running and running, chasing down that ball because it was just him and I. I thought it was hilarious. He was getting so mad at me. Mom, don't hit it so hard. I'm like, I'm not really actually hitting it very hard. Anyway, we have now gotten through all of the hair and we are on to her clothing. I did the top part of her suit yellow and then the bottom will be blue. And her cape and boots are going to be red. So that's kind of the tone I went. You guys saw the picture at the start of the video as well as on the thumbnail if you guys clicked to watch this. So I'm using my favorite yellow combination. So I start off with that YR24 and then I jump to Y17. I just find it gives it a lot more depth than just putting the yellows on. If I don't add that real dark YR color at the beginning, I just find it all feels a little, well, it always feels, it's paper, Jessie. It looks a little bit flat, so I like to put that in there. Now we're on to our grays, and I'm going to do like all of the edging on her suit and her belt in the gray. I love this stamp set. She's so stinking adorable. I want to do her in like pinks. All pink. Like two shades of pink. Like a purpley pink and a bright pink. I think that would be fun too. Maybe we'll color her again. Anyway, I babbled to myself, and I feel very awkward doing videos again because I was to the point where I was doing them so often. I was so comfortable talking to everybody and like keeping a conversation going. And now I'm like, I feel really awkward again. So yeah, we're doing her bottom or her skirt, and I started off with that B28, and then I jumped to a B05. Again, the same reasoning as I did with the yellow. It's just to bring in a lot more depth around that edge and kind of get it as dark as I can. That was, my foot was stuck to the chair I'm sitting on. Sorry if you guys heard that. I'm not sure how much this mic picks up. I can't remember. So we're just blending and blending and blending, and I have nothing to talk about. And I'm not putting on music because I turn videos off when there's music on. So y'all are going to have to listen to me babble. I am trying to get ahead in projects. I am almost finished all of my design team commitments for next month. So for June. So that's exciting. I have some videos coming with those. I'm going to start on July. I want to do a lot more like Stamp Stash Saturday videos and other videos on the channel here using stamps that I've had in my stash for quite a while. I'm really working on not buying anything until August. We will see how that goes. I make no promises, but I'm really shooting for August. I've made it like 30 days and haven't spent, oh no, that's a fallacy. I went to the dollar store and bought foam tape. So I have spent $1.25 on crafty stuff in the last month, but I needed it. I had none left. So I deem like adhesives and things a necessity in terms of my crafting, so that one I'll let myself get away with. But I haven't bought like any stamp sets, markers, pencils, paints, anything of that nature. Yeah, in over a month. I did get 2 new watercolor brushes for Mother's Day. Kevin bought me some Windsor & Newton Sable watercolor brushes, and I love them. It's going to take me a little bit to get used to them because they hold so much more water than any of my synthetic brushes do. But they are absolutely stunning, and I adore them. I'm hoping to get back into kind of like my watercolor-esque series, and I want to do like a video about all of the different watercolor brushes I have and what I like and why and all that kind of fun stuff. I know we're not doing anything resorting to watercolor here. Okay, this is where we're going to screw up the whole card, you guys. I wanted to put a line down the side of this, and I was too lazy to go get my ruler. So I tried to use a piece of paper, and it just didn't work. So I went over it twice here. And then I tried to get in there and then I was crooked, and it looked like crap. So now I cut it off. So we ended up making a 3.5 by 3.5 inch square card. So it doesn't exactly follow the card sketch I showed you at the beginning. But you guys can see that the attempt was there. So now I'm going to take this N9 marker. I probably should have used a warm gray. It probably would have matched a little bit better because you can see the drastic difference. And then I'm going to recolor over top of all of these stamped buildings. I only make you watch that much of it. And then I come back with it done because it was painful and I needed to get my head like right over top. Adding back in some of the brights of a few of the windows here with this Dilutions white pen. And then I'm going to take this sentiment and cut it in half. I cut sentiments all the time to make them work. It doesn't hurt them. They still stamp. They still go together and stamp perfectly fine. So we're going to stamp on our sentiment. And then I take a piece of white paper and I cut it to 1/4 inch bigger, and I test a blue and a yellow color on it, and we end up using the yellow. So I just make a custom cardstock-esque color using my Copic markers here. And then we're going to glue all of that together, and that is the end of the card. So if you guys are not subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to hit that little subscribe button underneath the window here. I truly appreciate it. It helps me out a whole ton here. Thumbs up are great as well because lots more people get to see my cards when you give me a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give me a thumbs down. It helps me anyway. It really don't matter to me. Like, pick one. I'm happy. I appreciate it either way. Like, thank you. So have yourselves a wonderful day, and I will see you guys very soon in another video. Bye for now.